So what we're gonna do is we're gonna build an antenna. Now, first, I have my little pole thing right here. I should change it a little bit. So basically, you want to have an antenna, and the gaps where you have are gonna be very important because you don't have gaps. It's just gonna be like inside of itself, which will be bad. So first off, we should probably build the actual antenna, which is just gonna be using servos. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. So you want to place a block onto your antenna, and at the top of it, or like wherever, you want to just scale something like this. Then you want to get a servo and make sure that light rate is just put it in that position. The light rate is like that. Now what you want to do is get a plastic block or something. Then scale into that. Make sure your plastic block is not connected to this light gray part and give it a little bit of space for it to function properly. So basically that'll be that part. And now what we can do is build another servo. And since this will be like where it's turning and stuff, we'll just place a plastic block like that. Then we can grab a servo like that. Make sure the light gray is facing this way. Then what we're gonna do is again is anchor this off to, or put it onto that. So basically, attaching this to the dark gray thing. So before this thing is to turn, but if we anchor that, the game system will make this thing turn instead, which will turn this. So now basically we have this almost set up perfectly. And now I guess well, we have to anchor it off to the actual build itself. So you see this right here, I'll just anchor off to pretend it's the actual build you're building it onto yourself. Now, so I got a thing here, I connected those. Now, basically we'll just give it a test. Alright, so we couldn't ask for better. So, depending on what rotation and angle you want your thing to bend, we could loosen it up. I'll do 5. Reset that. Now, you see they're in different angles. If you want to go the other angle, you just reverse rotation. And now, in here, I'll just turn everything invisible. And as you can see, it starts to bend. Now, I could make this a bigger bend too, like that. And here we'll do that again. That was kind of cool. Alright, now it's bending even more. So basically, this is an antenna, and if you want, you could add like weight on top to it, which makes it kind of like freak out a little more. It makes it more realistic, in my opinion. I'll unanchor that. We could change the transparency. So basically, when I do that, oh, and I'll add a little more weight. You see how it's like it kind of like rocks back and forth a little bit. You'll change the servo torque. So the servo torque like changes the amount of like bounce, like goes back and stuff. Servo speed is kind of important too. Basically, the way, what type of physics you want your antenna to have basically depends on the servo speed and servo torque. Here, I'll put it on max here. or add more weight to it. There, that's the type of physics you want. So the more weight or whatever, the more like bouncy it gets. Now, if you really want to have a weird thing, just add a lot of weight, and now you'll just be like flopping out. Oh, actually, this wouldn't be a bad idea for building a some sort of like weird timer or like clock. Anyway, that's how you build that. Here, we'll just remove that. I really broke it this time. Well, anyway, before I messed it up, that's basically how you do a antenna. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Actually, no. Now I'll be moving on to me figuring out my Humvee, which is a little more advanced on what you have to do. But I'll be showing you guys what I do anyway. So basically, I'm going to try to figure out how to do it onto my Humvee. So, guess I'll just do a speed build on. Or like, I'll just do a speed mechanic build. Alright, I just got reloaded it, and I anchored it. So now, let's see. It's kind of hard to tell with all the servos and whatnot. So let me change the transparency. Alright, so now I think I'm gonna have to, what's it called? Scale that piece out because it's connected. Alright, so now I did a few more things since I needed to, what's it called? So all the servos are the same, and now I push this, which fills in all the gaps and everything. Now I can unanchor everything. Basically, pistons pushing blocks to fill in the gaps. Then once I do that, it basically bends everything. Now the fun thing about this is, if you do this for yourself, so the more weight you have on top, the more like what's it called? The more bendy it gets, or the more kind of more realistic. So right now it gets more bendy. Anyway, without further ado, I think it works perfect, except for when it does this, which it kind of freaks out. But anyway, I think that'll be it for this today's video. Alright, so now I'm just going to show you what it looks like without all the gears and, not the gears, the servos and all that stuff. Basically, that pushes all those things in, the pistons. That's basically the antenna. Now you can hook this up to your car seat and you could go back and forth with, depending on how you keylined it. Anyway, so now my next mission to do would be kind of hooked it up to my Humvee, but I'm not gonna do that quite yet because still working on a few things. But I think that's pretty good. Maybe for the next video I'll show you guys how to make a rotatable turret for this. That way I can like turn it around and stuff. Without further ado, I think this is nice. I'm happy with how it came out. But uh, yeah, that's about it. Before we go, actually, here I'll scale it up a bunch just for flexing. Now if I do this, it should freak out. There we go. I'll get rid of that. Alright, that's it for today's video. Hope you all enjoyed. Peace.